So we're getting to a bunch of lessons called solving systems of equations by certain ways. There's certain ways we can solve a system of equations, but what does solving a system of equations mean? Well, if I have two lines on a graph or a coordinate plane, it's where they meet. So it's the ordered pair where the two lines would meet. So if I had one line cross over, say right here, here's my blue line, here's my red line, they meet right here, the ordered pair would be 0, 5. So 0, 5 would be my solution to my system of equations. And a system of equations just means the equation for this line and the equation of this line. What is the ordered pair where they meet? This is the solution. So we can do it by a few ways. The way we're going to do today is elimination. So elimination means I can't solve for x if I also don't know what y is. And I can't solve for y if I don't know what x is. So what I have to do is somehow combine these two equations, and I can combine them by elimination. So what I can do is try to get rid of either the y term or the x term, and then I can solve for the other. So if I got rid of the x term, I would know what y is. If I could get rid of the y term, I could solve this for x. So let's see what I mean by that. The key to this is finding coefficients that are the same. What is a coefficient? It's the number in front of a variable. So here I have a 2 in front of my x and a 3 in front of my x. My coefficients are not the same. But if I look here at my y's, I have a 1 in front of my y and a 1 in front of my y, so my coefficients are the same. Now I'm going to be able to solve this by elimination. If your coefficients are the same and your signs are different, you're going to add. And I'm going to write that on the board. So if your coefficients are the same, they're both 1s, but your signs are different, add these two equations. It's kind of crazy, but you can actually add these two equations. I think this is so cool. Watch this. I just put a big plus sign out in front. You add in columns. So 2x's plus 3x's is 5x's. 1x plus a negative 1x is no y. I'm sorry, those are y's and I said x's. 1y plus a negative 1y would give me no y's. They cancel out. That's what I want to do. I want to eliminate. And then I would just add 5 plus negative 1. Use your calculator if you're not sure. And I get 4. So when I solve this for x, I divide both sides by 5. X equals 4/5. So I already know that my ordered pair for these two lines right here where they meet, I already know my x is 4/5 in that for that ordered pair. And then I can go ahead and substitute in 4/5 for x to find out what y is. So you can eliminate by adding. You find coefficients that are the same. If the signs are different, you just add your columns and solve for your variable. The other thing you can do is you can subtract, but we're not going to cover that in this video. We're just going to add the coefficients. Let me give you one more example of how this is done. So here I have two equations. I want to solve them by eliminating one of the variables. So the first thing I want to do is look for coefficients that are the same. Here I have a 2 in front of my x and a 2 in front of my x. So my coefficients are the same. And then I want to look for signs that are different. So here's a minus or a negative sign, and here is a positive 2. They are different. If your coefficients are the same but your signs are different, you add the two equations. So I am going to add the columns. And this takes some getting used to, but you'll get used to it. A negative 2 and a positive 2 is nothing. They're 0. No more x's left. 3y's plus 2y's gives me 5y's. 6 plus 14 gives me 20. I just divide both sides by 5. And I can see that my y is 4. I know my y in my ordered pair is 4. I can substitute 4 in here to find out what my x is. So when you're solving systems of equations by elimination and you have coefficients that are the same but your signs are different, add them.